Hello, my loves. It is Colette with Rich Girls Inc. And today we're going to talk to Lucia Evans. I'm very, very excited. Lucia is a relationship alchemist and a spirit guide. And she's going to tell us all about what she does, some lessons from her journey, and anything else that she wants to share with us. So, welcome, Lucia. Thank you for being on our broadcast.
Thank you, Colette. It's a pleasure. So, yes, I'm a relationship alchemist because I experience in life everything is about relationships. And I've had an interesting relationship with my body and learning how to live in it where it's authentic and real for me. And so the journey that I've been on has really been about learning how to feel safe in my body and be authentic in how I express myself in the world. So I help other people really feel safe to be themselves and learn the language of emotional wisdom and the heart and how to really be true to oneself. I've had to really learn the words and the tone and the timing and, when I get triggered, like to pause and, all these things are really important because to sustain a heart connection and to sustain being in the present, it's really important to drop in and tune in to really feel what's real.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. So how did you get started on this path?
Well, before actually I was born, we all have a choice, a conscious choice, right, to be born in a body. And it was really challenging for me, this choice of really being born in a dense form. I really have had a hard time. And so a huge component of this journey for me has been about finding resolution with my choice and learning through my various challenges in life with relationships in regards to others and also my relationship with my true self in how I can find peace and how I can feel fulfilled in a place where it doesn't feel safe. So to be more specific in certain aspects of my life, I've overcome rheumatoid arthritis through learning how to fall in love with myself, learning how to receive love, learning how to receive pleasure, and really slowing down to feel the full experience of this moment and to be honest with myself.
That's amazing because I know I have a friend who has rheumatoid arthritis, and I know how much it hurts and the suffering that they experience. And so that's amazing that you were able to cure yourself and overcome that. So what did you do from there? Like, tell
So
us a little bit about
I'm
that
writing a book
journey.
about my journey because it's been such an interesting one. And, we're all on our journey. And the journey is really to self-discover. And this is the things that I've discovered about my journey is really no different from anyone else's. It's just maybe I have more awareness than certain people. And I feel compelled and so responsible to offer that to the world. So, my journey has been really about being a social scientist in how I relate with the world and how then the world gives me feedback. The people give me feedback, or my environment gives me feedback around, okay, let's bring it back to myself. Let's bring it back to self-reflection and how I can deepen into myself and expand that love or that awareness into the world where I radiate more positive vibration. So through trial and error, in really feeling into some of my wounding and my triggers around being in relationships, I've had to learn how to honor my feelings and my emotions. And as an empath and an intuitive, I have deep, deep, deep emotions and feelings, and I've had to learn how to navigate through that in a conscious way and a self-responsible way. So a huge part of this journey for me has been learning how to find which words are self-responsible, getting out of blame, shame, justifying, and making wrong, and really claiming my own experience for what it is.
That's so important. That's awesome. And it's definitely something that I've seen people struggling with, and they don't even know they're struggling with it. That awareness of, there's so many times where we're like, oh, I'm happy, I'm fine, I'm great. And it's like we're almost lying to ourselves. So that's awesome that you help people with that. Do you have any stories that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of people stand out. One person that I worked with, she was having a really hard time with her partner. And she kind of gotten into this place of, she realized she couldn't continue the pattern that she was in with him. It was self-destructive, and it was really hurting her soul and her heart. And so they decided to break up, her and her partner. And I was able to hold a loving, safe space for them to consciously uncouple in a way that was through appreciation and honoring of just the timing of things, rather than saying you didn't do this and how all this blame stuff that and criticizing we often do. They were able to uncouple in a loving way. And now she's really actually very happy with herself and has learned how to really be on her own in a way that she feels very deeply at peace with herself. I think I lost you. You froze on me. Colette.
Sorry, I think I lost you somehow. Could you see me, or what happened?
You froze.
Oh no. Okay. Well, hopefully. So the last thing I heard was the couple, and they were fighting, and they were having challenges, and so you were helping them overcome those so that they could break up amicably.
Yes. So finding the language, the authenticity, and just being honest from their heart without interrupting and blaming, so they could both hear one another from their own experience. And so now she's, I don't know where he's at. I think he's fine, but they're both friends still, and she's at a place of really deep peace within herself, and feels very good about it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so huge, because how many people break up and they don't even want to look at or think about or talk about their ex, but there's children involved and they have to figure out how to make it work, and they can't even imagine being friendly. So that's so great that that you can help them with that. And then you said you had one more story? Or?
It was so nice. And then there's another story that stands out about a lawyer I helped. He was actually a lawyer comedian. It's an interesting combination. He was having a really hard time knowing how to authentically relate to women and getting a date that was someone he would really align with. And so we created a formula for his dating, and some certain, maybe like 3 or 4 questions that he could ask that were aligned with his values and what was important to him, that he could then kind of have less time to be with a woman to see, okay, is this a good fit? So he could have more clarity on certain questions. So, I think a lot of men have a hard time knowing what to say because they're nervous. And this was really a huge thing for him to feel confident in his ability to relate with women, I think, and not feel intimidated.
How exciting. So when he came to you, had he been trying to date and it wasn't working,
Yeah,
or had he kind of given up on dating, or what? Where was he when he came
that
to you?
was one part of it. Yeah, he was just really anxious all the time, and he would talk nonstop. You know how a lot of people just talk about nothing in particular. And then you don't really get the essence of what they're really wanting to truly talk about, really wanting to truly connect with. And so it's all about self-healing, right? So coming always back to the self. This is the foundation of this work, and really being connected to what's true in this moment. And so he got into this place of his own healing and his own true self, of where he could come to peace with. So it started to activate the work that I did with him. It started to activate his own awareness of who he really is in relationship to himself, so he can feel more confident to come from that reference of when he connects with women.
That's awesome. That's so huge to be so clear in what you want and to be able to communicate that to somebody else. That's beautiful. Okay, well, so how would someone get started working with you? Do you have a website?
Yeah, the website. Probably the best way is through the website or through email. Shoot me an email. My website's lovingconsciousrelationships.com. And my email is relationshipnavigator@gmail.com. And
Lovingconsciousrelationships.com?
yeah, lovingconsciousrelationships.com.
That's awesome.
And
what a cool name.
there's so many parts to it, but basically it's finding out what people want and really aligning with their values and connecting in with the feelings and finding the gold and the wounding, and how we can shift and create opportunities and different options where there's more of expansion rather than a contraction.
Very cool. And then you have one-on-one sessions, correct?
One-on-one sessions.
And then you have events too.
Yeah, I'll be doing events. I'm going away for a few weeks to Italy, but I'll be doing group events that all relate to relationship tools, like how to effectively communicate and really come into more of awareness of your own self and self-healing and self-discovery. So I'll be posting those events on my website. And yes.
How awesome. Okay, so all the information's on there, how to connect with you, how to book a session, all your events are on your website.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us today.
You're welcome. And you might not know this, but I've just there's this book called Conscious Love. It's Enlightened Relationships and Soulful Sex, and it's on Amazon right now. And you can buy it. And I'm one of the featured 11 authors in this book. And I wrote a chapter on the power of authentic relating. So you're welcome to check that out too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, check that out, guys, and have an awesome day. Keep creating rich and manifesting powerfully.